Hi, a few weeks ago I uploaded a video about 10 good things about role cards. Today I will share 10 bad things about the role card update with you, and at the end I will also let you know if I think this is a good update or not.
Number 10. One advanced roll per card. Why not more?
We start this off with a very mild critique, or a suggestion if you will. Although you can only play as one role during a game, sometimes you join a lobby and see certain players or just feel like playing as a certain role. When you get a role, you can maybe choose between two roles if you're lucky, the base role and the advanced role. But why not make it possible to get multiple advanced roles on one card? I know that most roles only have one advanced role, but with future updates in mind, it would be a nice option to have more advanced roles on one card instead of the perks that really give you major advantages. Does it sound very logical maybe? Definitely not if you wanna have more tools to decode the werewolves as villagers, but we'll come to those perks later on.
Number 9. XP boosts as perks.
This one is not such a big problem at first, but on the long term this might be a big difference. Some perks allow for extra XP upon winning as that role, and with more XP comes more cards, and thus it is easier for players with cards to get new cards than for players to get cards without cards. This is a very minor case, but technically it is a negative side to the XP boosts.
Number 8. Less rolls is less confusion, right?
In a live Q&A with Philip, one of the developers of Wolvesville, he said that with advanced roles, less roles are in rotation, and thus it would be easier for new players to learn the game. Although I do think this is true, it still kind of is a double-edged sword because the roles that are advanced roles are technically not in rotation and will always be rarer, so when new players get in a game with it, they will need to figure out what it does, think of how to respond to that role. And if the role is indeed rare, they will not quickly learn about it, since it might take a while before they see it again.
Number 7. Another reason for XP farmers.
Yes, I know I'm going to be picky on the XP system again of Wolvesville, but the role cards add a new reason for people to grind for XP, and it rewards those who already do it. Currently, those who play to grind XP might not be so occupied with role cards, but a new community might actually hop on the XP farming train to get cards and care less about how good a game actually plays. Even though there is a certain limit of role cards you can get per month, it still will encourage those with less time but still the will to unlock a role card daily to grind XP. Hopefully we won't see them screaming at the non-XP farmers, "Look, we are so good at the game and you're bad, just look at my level," because that generally frustrates the players with skill.
Number 6. The term rarity is deceiving.
And yes, that is a very minor complaint right there again. But when I initially heard about the update, I thought that the names common, rare, epic and legendary would mean that we could actually unlock all those rarities right away in a role card loot box. Don't get me wrong, I think it's better that it does not work like that, because you'd get an EA-esque system where you just gotta be lucky, and in case you would pay, then you really didn't even know what it would be worth it. But I think that other terms to describe strength of cards would have worked better.
Number 5. Legendary cards are extremely expensive.
No matter whether you purchase your cards with gems or you unlock them through XP and challenges and daily rewards, you cannot deny that they are really expensive. To some extent that is a good thing, because realistically you will never be done with collecting them, so you can keep going on and collecting with a purpose. But for an average player, I don't believe you will get a legendary card on every role anytime soon. When it comes to crafting them, you need 3 common cards for 1 rare, and then you need 4 rare cards for 1 epic card, and 5 epic cards for just 1 legendary card. That gives us a sum of 5 times 4 times 3, which equals to a stunning 60 common cards if you want just 1 legendary card. If you want to further upgrade the perks, you need even more cards of the same perk. So yeah, it will be taking a lot to max out your legendary card. Money wise, it's a good thing that it is expensive, because that means it becomes less pay to win. But when it comes to getting them through leveling up, etc., it's really expensive, perhaps too expensive. Don't forget that there are more than 10 different perks, of which only 4 can be on 1 role card, so you might actually want 2 or even 3 maxed out legendary cards per role for maximum profits.
Number 4. There are pay to win elements.
This might be the portion of the video where you were waiting for. I could talk a lot about pay to win and that I don't think that Wolvesville is really a lot of pay to win. But technically you can gain slight advantages over your teammates and opponents at random with money. It is somewhat of a stretch and I should immediately admit that Wolvesville could have done other things if they really wanted to go the pay to win route, like giving players that buy stuff certain abilities, an unbannable status or something like 2 lives when playing. That obviously is not the case, but there are perks that do make it easier for players that got the perk in comparison to players who don't have it. Obviously, if pay to win was very noticeable, then it would be higher on the list as well.
Number 3. Base versus advanced. Missing balance?
With quite a few roles, balance between base role and advanced role is missing. I can easily name the cannibal, which is gameplay wise in all cases superior to the serial killer. You just have to know what button to press to get somebody killed. There are more instances like how the trapper can be significantly more likely to get a werewolf killed than a beast hunter, even though it takes some time to set up and activate multiple traps. The Avenger is just the loudmouth if you think of it, but then instead of revealing you can actually kill someone. Though very different in nature, the voodoo werewolf seems way more likely to have an impact in the game than a wolf shaman. Whilst I am making this video, the devs are asking the community to indicate what role they think is stronger amongst the base role versus advanced role, so I think they are trying to fix the balance issues. But for a few of those cases, the community definitely says that a certain role is stronger than the other role.
Number 2. Veteran cards are too strict.
Veteran cards should be easier to get. Period. Personally, I consider myself a veteran, but I only got a few veteran cards initially, missing out on roles like Spirit Seer, Marksman and even Nightmare Werewolf and Sorcerer. Especially because the developers said they don't want to take away content from players that already played the game. Well, despite me not having played in a big part of 2021 and not having grinded till level 500 or something, I think I can perfectly describe myself as a veteran. I also don't get why players have to gain 5 cards before getting veteran cards, but that is a minor thing. It really stinks that a lot of players see former content in the sense of old roles disappear, especially in the case that you played with the role but just not enough to get the veteran card. In my opinion, the old role should just be unlocked if you already played once with the role before the update. Sadly, I don't think they can and will roll that back, but I'm not the only one who's bugged with that, I believe. So you might know by now what comes in the number 1, but if you don't, here you go anyways.
Number 1. In-game advantages.
Yeah, some perks, despite the devs claiming that they don't add new info to the game, are considerably unfair to play against. Surely, highlighted messages don't matter that much perhaps, but seeing voting history, chat stats per player and modifying discussion time are very tough or even impossible to do without the perk. I'm not a big fan of certain players having the ability to manipulate duration of discussion phases, even if it's just 5 seconds. It simply gives those with a card a gameplay advantage that should, at least when you value an equal playground, not be existence to begin with. Will these perks really change many games? Probably not. Are they still rewarding veteran players and players that grind a lot in comparison to the beginners? Yes, and I think that is where the problem lies, because at some point there will be quite a lot of players with at least one game-changing perk in a lobby, and then it sucks to be that guy that doesn't have anything at all. Seeing voting history is a potentially game-breaking perk too actually, because you can get a lot of information through seeing who voted who retracted on the last second, etc. I'm sure that the developers and community can come up with better perks that don't actually give players advantages, but just add more visual customizability, or perhaps even comes with an alternative soundtrack to make gameplay more unique. So what is then the final word on this update? Although this update is a mixed bag of good and bad things, when it comes to my perception, it is mostly a good update. Quite a few reasons that I brought up in this video are little nitpicks or just negative sides of mostly positives. Surely I do not entirely agree on how veteran cards were implemented and the fact that perks exist that give seasoned players advantages over starters, but the positives outnumber the negatives. The fact that role cards did not make it to ranked is perhaps a very minor thing at first glance, but it clearly sets a border for players. If you don't like cards, go play ranked. And it keeps ranked clean from little advantages too. Trying to unlock cards is a lot of fun, and with the new way of ordering roles, the future might be brighter for Wolvesville. What do you think though? Do you like the update, or should it not have existed in its current form? Go comment your opinion down below and I would love to read through it and react to them. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you will like my other videos too, so I highly recommend subscribing to my channel for more Wolvesville content. I will see you later, and don't be a traitor. Goodbye.